I was recently asked if we could automatically put YouTube links from viewers into overlays on our streams automatically, and while I didn't think that was safe, I did come up with a way that we could safely do it. In this way, we are going to let them use channel points to submit their YouTube IDs. We're going to approve or reject those, and then we're going to allow moderators to use a command that will automatically add it to our stream. If you'll be following along at home, you'll need to make sure that you have a Twitch account that is either affiliated or partnered, and you'll need to have mixitup installed. Are you ready? Let's go. The first thing that we're going to need to do is make sure that we have a mixitup overlay that's connected to a browser source inside of OBS. That might sound a lot, but it's actually very easy. In the top left-hand corner, we're going to click on our hamburger menu, and from here, we're going to go down to Services. Once we're within Services, we're going to go to the Overlay, and here we're going to copy the URL that it gives us. Once we have that, we're going to go into OBS. We're going to open a new source. We're going to select browser and we're just going to paste that in. Then we can resize it. I'm going to make it the exact size of my typical OBS screen so then we can play around where things are going to be placed. Once you have your overlay in place and you might find it's not working, what you're going to want to do is come back into Services, turn off OBS, turn it back on again, and try test connection. Keep trying this until you get some big red text in wherever you set it up in OBS. That's going to be your sign that everything is good to go. Since we don't just want any old YouTube link coming through and being shown on our stream, we first need to set up a Twitch channel point that can be easily reviewable by the moderators that we have on our team. Here, we're going to go into our stream manager, and from there, we'll scroll down until we find viewer rewards, and we'll click on power-ups and channel points. From here, I'll click on the submenu to take me into the channel points, and I'm going to scroll all the way down and create a add new custom reward. From here, it's just the way you would expect. We'll type in a name of it. We can add in a description. We can add in the cost, put in any images that we require, as well as the background color. But here's the important thing. We're going to need to make sure that the required viewer has to enter text. This is going to make sure that what they enter in here is going to be the ID of the YouTube content they wish to see. This is what our moderator is going to review beforehand. So to make sure that they are going to review it first, make sure that this skip reward requests queue is unchecked. This is going to make sure that nothing makes it onto our stream and potentially violates the terms of service before someone said, yeah, this is fine. Now that we've theoretically reviewed our video and it looks like it's going to be okay to play on stream, let's create a variable so that we can assign it to our YouTube player later. For this, we're going to go to the top left-hand corner, select our menu, and then we're going to find Twitch channel points. From here, we'll add a command to an existing reward, the one we just created. We're going to select it from the drop-down. Mine was called YouTube. And from here, under Action, we're actually going to look for something called Special Identifier. This is where we can create our variable. Let's create a plus sign here. And from here, the first thing we're going to do is name it. I'm just going to call mine YouTube ID so we can call it later. And the replacement text we're going to use is $message. Now that just means that whatever was entered as the message on their redeem is going to be assigned into this variable. Next, I'm going to make it globally usable so it can be used across all actions. They can pick this variable up and reuse it. I'm going to save it, and that part's ready to go. Let's move on. Now that we have our overlay set up and connected to our browser source, we've got our Twitch channel points ready so that we can make sure every ID coming in is okay to play, and we've got our global variable in which to store that ID. We're ready to go. We're ready to make our new command. Now we're ready to create the command that's going to let our moderators or ourselves say, yes, this YouTube link was fine, let's play it on the stream. To do that, first we're going to go to the top left-hand corner and select the menu. From here, we're actually going to scroll up and go to Commands. Under Commands, we'll go to New Command. And in here, you can name it whatever you like. I'm going to call mine YouTube ID. Then we need a chat trigger. I'm going to call mine YT-OK. That makes sense to me. Moderators can say, yes, this is okay. And before we go any further, most importantly, let's make sure that we select this icon here, the little guy with the key, and let's make sure that we set this to role of moderator. This is to make sure our users can't come in here and just start sending whatever they want and bypassing the whole thing. Now we're ready to start building our command. First, at the very bottom, we're going to select the action dropdown, and from here we're going to scroll until we find Overlay, Images, and Videos. Selecting that, we'll add it on in, and from here, under Action, we're going to select YouTube. Pretty straightforward from there. Now the issue is going to be that there's lots of decisions you need to make. You need to decide what size your YouTube video is going to be. How large do you want it to play on your screen when it comes through? Where do you want it to be positioned on your screen? I'm not going to touch that part, but let's look at the other important things. Our YouTube video URL ID is going to be that global variable that we set up earlier. So I'm going to put in my $, YouTube ID, and that's going to be it for that part. Next, the important thing to set is the duration. Now, duration is how long is the longest video you want to be able to play. So for me, I might say that 60 seconds is the absolute longest that it should be, and then I'm going to cut it off. Otherwise, you could make it a very large number and have it continue to go forever, but it will end when the video ends or when the duration is up, whatever is shorter. Now, the entrance animation, the exit animation, by all means, go crazy. I always randomize it because you can do that, and I find it hilarious. Now we'll just click the save icon, and we're ready to test it out. Now the fun part, we get to test it out. For this, I'm going to use a YouTube video from Bridget Chant, who has a bird named Hamlet, which I love. So let's go to that URL, and we're going to grab the ID, which we can find in the URL, and Control C that. We're going to switch over to our stream. We're going to redeem our new channel points, which are for me, the YouTube at 100,000, because I didn't want anybody else coming in here and trying this. I'm going to submit that. It's automatically going to approve because I'm the streamer. And now I'm going to pretend I'm the moderator, and I'm just going to say !YT-OK. Let's see what happens. There we go. I've only got this set to 10 seconds because we don't want to watch the whole video, of course, but here we go. Bridget and Hamlet in our stream, and away it goes.